Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Did You Know with Dr. Raymond Lombard.
Thank you.
I'm Wes Lukitsia, and I hope you guys are ready for another one. Are you guys ready? Dr. Ray, you are ready?
Yes, sir.
We are on chapter 6
Absolutely.
of the new book, How to Navigate Through the End Times. This is our long form type conversation. The last episode, we spoke to the Gentile world. No, I want to say Gentile world kingdoms. We spoke to three critical moments or
Yes.
periods in world histories which spoke about the times of the Gentiles
Gentiles.
and the
Fullness of the times of the Gentiles. And actually the fullness of time. That's where we ended the conversation.
that's where we ended. And then we said there's a few things we're going to touch on in this next chapter because we're actually now speaking about Daniel, Daniel's the statue of Daniel,
Yes.
Nebuchadnezzar's dream.
Yes.
All of those things are sort of coming into play on this chapter.
Of course.
So I tried to read this chapter
Okay.
and I didn't understand it at all. So we've got Dr. Ray here to explain it to us.
Maybe it's because it's the first time you've read through it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. It's a good chapter, and it's one of those things where it's like it says it's connecting between Daniel, it's connecting between Revelation. It's got stories of a statue. It's got animals in it.
Yes.
All of those things, and I'm trying to put it all together. But I'm like, we've got Dr. Ray to put it all together for us. For in the next 30 minutes, we're going to get Dr. Ray to give us a masterclass in what all of this actually means. So today's chapter is called The Gentile World Kingdoms, Connections Between Daniel and Revelation.
Absolutely.
So you can also, in the back of the book, if you go look at
yes.
at some of these presentations we have in the back, we've got Daniel 2.
Yes.
So go look at it. It's got a statue, and on the one side it's got the statue, and the other side it's got the animals, the empires, and it's got a
Because they
timeline.
correlate. Because they correlate. So
Precisely.
Daniel 2, it's a vision of God gave a man a dream of kingdoms, Gentile kingdoms, and they look like a man. In Daniel 7, it was a vision from God to Daniel, and he saw animals, and they correlate.
Okay, so Nebuchadnezzar had a dream.
and
Daniel had a vision.
vision.
Two separate things at the same time, or
So the different times, but the one was like a human being would look like kingdoms from a human perspective.
yes.
Man reigns over man.
Okay.
So the Gentile rule over Israel, because that's what it's all about. The statue of Daniel that he saw in his dream, that Daniel had to explain, shows him kingdoms that will rule over Israel. But from God's perspective, when he gave Daniel the vision, they correlate. And so you will see it's actually wild animals.
yes.
God says, these kingdoms, they're killing each other, they're killing other people to reign over.
They're
So
like wild animals.
it's like they correlate.
Okay,
What's
so
very interesting is you also have a map of the four kingdoms, because we talk about four kingdoms.
yes, because we actually have maps of the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian, the Greek Empire. So all of these,
And
the Roman
Romans.
Empire.
Yeah, but that is very, very important, those four maps. Because, let me just explain that. Because that will show, because my question, Wessel, my question would be, why these kingdoms in particular,
yeah.
and where, and when?
And why do they correlate? According to Daniel's 70
Because
weeks.
that would give more information.
Okay.
In Daniel 2, we just learn there will be Gentile nations coming, following one after the other. Named before the time, in Bible prophecy, long before they existed. That is prophecy.
Okay.
And it happened exactly like it was prophesied. Before they even existed.
Explain Daniel's 70 weeks as well, because that also comes into play in this whole,
Yes.
the statue,
Yes.
the Gentile kingdoms,
Right.
the animals,
Yes. So what Daniel chapter 9 would do of the 77s, that would explain that these times that Israel will be trampled by Gentile nations will be 490 years.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, they crucified Christ at the end of the 69th week, which was 483 years later. And when they crucified him, God moved the last 7 years forward in history. So now we have the church age filling the gap.
So that's where we get the whole thing about the Jew still owes God 7 weeks.
Yes,
Because
because
they
they
crucified Jesus.
on the end of the 69th week.
Okay.
So the one is outstanding.
They owe him in essence 7 more years.
Absolutely. And that's what we call the Great Tribulation.
Okay.
That's why there must come a Great Tribulation.
Yeah.
Because Bible prophecy can never come to an end until that time comes.
Yeah.
And we are in the end of the church age, reaching out to that 7 years very closely.
Yeah.
So, and that last week, incidentally, will be the reign of the rule of the Antichrist.
Precisely.
That is why you mentioned just now Revelation 13.
Yes.
Because why Revelation 13?
Mm.
So before we go there, so I just want to make this statement. God in his wisdom, he had to punish Israel for not obeying him by keeping the Sabbath. And so the Lord said, because you're not keeping the Sabbath, I'm going to let you be persecuted and go into captivity out of your land. And there will be a lot of things happening to you because you're not keeping my commandments, and especially not my Sabbath.
Yes.
So that is why Jerusalem was trampled, and Nebuchadnezzar killed the people there, and he took many people in exile. And so that fateful date is recorded in history, forever burned in the memory of Israel. The year 586 before Christ.
Okay.
That is a crucial moment in world history.
Yes.
Because that was the year when Jerusalem was destroyed and the temple of God that Solomon built was destroyed.
Who destroyed it?
Nebuchadnezzar's army. He sent
his
them.
army. Okay.
Yeah, and his army was led by a man with the name of Nebuzaradan.
Yeah.
Very close like Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
You can hear it. Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuzaradan. So Nebuzaradan, he was the head of his armies. And so he just did what the king told him to do.
Yeah.
So, and then he took people into captivity. And so we had, that was actually Judah was taken into captivity.
Why would Nebuchadnezzar get this dream? Why do you think it was almost shown to him?
So when Daniel was in the palace, because when that happened, actually before that happened, a few years before that, it could be probably in the vicinity of nearly 20 years before Jerusalem was finally destroyed, the temple in Jerusalem, because in the year 604, 602, 606 before Christ, Daniel, as a young man, and his friends were already taken away, some of them captive to Babylon. And so, and he comes from the tribe of Judah. And so what happened was, while he was there, he got the message. Finally, Jerusalem was trampled and it was made to nothing. And the temple was destroyed. I mean, it must have broken his heart. Ezekiel, his friend or his compatriot, one of the prophets, another prophet, he was taken with the people to Babel, but not to the palace of the king. He lived with the exiles by the river. So Ezekiel, he was there, and Jeremiah, he had his own ways. They took him to Egypt. So Jeremiah eventually ended up in Egypt. Ezekiel, he went to the plains of Babylon, but only Daniel was in the palace of the king. And there in the palace of the king, it was God's perfect time to reveal his plan. And his plan was that he would reveal to his people their future. And he would do it through a dream that he would give on the first Gentile ruler over Israel.
Yes.
Ever. That is what makes Nebuchadnezzar so different.
Okay, but he wasn't he wasn't a believer. He
No,
wasn't I
no,
wanna
not
say
at all.
Christian, but I mean,
No, no, not alone
He
a
was a
Christian.
Gentile.
No, he was a Gentile, a
Yeah.
hard man, cruel man. Who he wants to live, let him live. Who he wants to kill, he kill. No, he was a very hard man. But God gave this man, he chose, because he was Nebuchadnezzar, the first Gentile king that destroyed Israel down to the south, all the way to Judea and Judah, and he took them away and he destroyed the temple. So God gave him the dream, because with Nebuchadnezzar, the times of the Gentiles started.
yes. And then what is this that God showed Nebuchadnezzar?
Is that you are the one chosen by me
Yes.
to be king of all other kings in the earth, and everybody will fall down before you, and you will be the one to reign. You are the golden kingdom. You are the golden era of the Gentile kings, because he is represented by gold. It was the head
the head
of
gold.
gold. So you are the golden of all the Gentile rulers. But after you
Yes.
will come the Medes and the Persians, the kingdom of silver.
Okay.
And after them, there will be another kingdom coming, Greece, the one of copper and bronze. And after them, there will be this wild beast, the Roman Empire, imperialistic empire, to come and rule the world. And Jesus was born when the Roman rule was 30 years in position. Then Jesus Christ was born.
Yes. So
So
that
Jesus-
was the legs of iron. Because did he
Yes, but-
show him in the dream it as a statue and
Yes.
say, you are the head of gold?
Yes,
and
yes.
this is the
The one to
arms
follow.
and chest of silver.
Yes, and that is to follow. So Daniel explained all of that to King Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay.
And he said to them, in the days of the feet, and he said, the feet, the toes, they cannot mingle because it's iron and clay. And he said, in the days of the feet, when all these kingdoms have come and go, and in the time when the last one existed, the feet of iron and clay,
Yes.
God of heaven will cause a rock to come loose from a mountain, and that rock will crush the statue, starting from the feet and the legs and the thigh, the arms and the chest, and eventually the head.
Yes.
So that was the dream and the explanation. And Nebuchadnezzar fell down and he worshipped Daniel. Because remember, he did not explain what he saw in the dream to Daniel.
Yes.
He said, to know the truth of the person to explain to me and interpret my dream, you must tell me what I dreamed.
Okay, so Nebuchadnezzar actually went to Daniel and asked him.
No, he went to his wise men
Okay, the wise man.
and he told them, tell me what I dreamed. They said, no, king, you tell us what you dream, we'll give you the explanation. He says, no, 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 no. You tell me what I dreamed, what I saw in my dream. And once you tell me what I dreamed and you give me the explanation, then I will believe you.
Yeah.
And you start killing them because they said, only the God that's not with flesh, only he knows what you dreamed.
Yeah.
He says, well, you guys say you are my interpreters of dreams and visions, and you have contact in higher places, so you explain to me. And they couldn't. And then they were looking for Daniel and his friends to kill them. Arioch, his name is Arioch. Arioch is a great soldier, personal soldier of Nebuchadnezzar. He went after Daniel, and Daniel went to Arioch. He says, Arioch, I hear that King Nebuchadnezzar is killing the wise man in Babel. Why? Why did he make such an edict? And he says, well, he said, give me the dream and his interpretation, you can live. And Daniel says, give me time. And he went to his three friends, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and they prayed to God. And in the night, it says, in Daniel 2, you can read all of this in Daniel 2, God showed him the dream that he gave to Nebuchadnezzar and the explanation.
Okay.
So Daniel said to Arioch the next day, take me to the king. And quickly he rushed to the king and he said, I found a man under the people of Judah, one of the Jews. And he says, he know what you dreamt. He can explain to you what you dreamt, and he can explain what it means. And he says, bring him. So Daniel explained to him his dream, what he saw.
But Daniel didn't see the statue.
He saw it. God showed it to Daniel.
Oh, he did see the statue.
Yes.
Okay.
God showed it to him in a dream.
And then
that
with
night.
the animals going.
No.
with it.
The animals came with Daniel 7, only later years.
Oh, okay.
Years
okay,
later.
Okay, so
That happened years
they're
later.
still on the
Yeah.
statue.
The animals,
Okay.
yeah. This is just Daniel chapter 2, not Daniel chapter 7. That happened on a different day, years later. But this all happened to point down the times of the Gentile rule over Israel. So, and when Daniel explained it to him, the Nebuchadnezzar fall down and he worshiped Daniel and he made him number one in his kingdom
Yeah.
to rule with him and to be in the palace. And so Daniel was there all his life. All
Sure.
his life. Daniel stayed in the palace. Even the kings after Nebuchadnezzar came, even to Belshazzar, he was still there. Then when the Medes and the Persians came, Daniel was still there. And he ruled in that kingdom. They made him another ruler in their kingdom, in a kingdom of silver.
Yes.
Kores, in the time of silver, he was there. And Darius the Mede, Daniel was there.
Okay.
He lived through those, but of course, he passed away before the Greeks could come, because, he couldn't live so long.
The Greek Empire.
Yes. So now, your
yes.
question about the animals.
Wait. I still want to. There's 3 questions I have here
Go for
before
it.
we go to the animals.
Let me hear.
Because we've got the legs of iron, and you
Yes.
say we are in there. It's a Roman Empire.
It was the Roman Empire.
And we are still, in essence, in the legs of iron.
so,
Because what will be the end of the legs?
so the end of the legs will be the feet.
Yeah, but what switches us over to the feet?
Yes. So you have to reach that time frame. So like today, if you ask me, if the Gentiles rule over Israel, and it is true even today,
Mhm.
to this day, Israel didn't build a temple
Yes.
because the Gentiles wouldn't allow them to build a temple.
Okay.
Why don't the Jews build a temple? They want a temple
Yeah.
because the Gentiles don't allow them to build a temple.
So they're still under Gentile rule.
Exactly,
Okay.
to this day.
Yeah. And what's going to change that?
That's the question. What is going to change it? Well, number one, the fact that Israel is back in the country tells you, then they will also want to build their temple.
Yeah.
If we're back in the country, we want our temple back. That's in their heart.
Mm.
That's their dream. What's going to happen for them to build the temple? Somebody has to come on a world scene and make it possible. The one to do that will be the Antichrist,
All right.
the last Gentile ruler.
Ooh, there
And
we
it will
go.
be in the time of the feet. When those feet, each feet has got 5 toes, 5 kingdoms, 5 kingdoms, 2 legs, 5 kingdoms, 5 kingdoms. So the Roman Empire in 300 after Christ was divided into Western and Eastern empires.
Mm.
2.
Yeah.
A split in Italy. Left of Italy, 5 kingdoms. Right of Italy, 5 kingdoms. And to this day,
The 2 legs.
yes, and to this day, we have come close to the ankles where we are touching now the feet. How do we know it? Because in the time of the feet, Israel is back in their country,
Mhm.
and now these 10 kingdoms must sort themselves out. And iron and clay don't mix, so you will find Brexit, where the British get away from the European Union, and then you get Greece want to be part, or Turkey is part. Now Ukraine want to be part, and so so you have these nations, and Sweden and Norway, they want to be part with NATO. So you have all these nations that are struggling. And why do we call them? Why do we talk about these nations? They were part of the Roman Empire, or of the Grecian Empire, or the Medo-Persian, or the Golden Empire.
Yeah.
So what's happening now, when you now come, just to show you something very special, exactly at this point, Wessel, if you take all these kingdoms, the Roman Empire, the Grecian Empire, Medo-Persian Empire, and the Gold Empire. When you take all these empires and you bring them together in Revelation chapter 13, you read, "The beast that I saw was like a leopard, his feet like a bear, his mouth like a lion." And the beast. So it's very interesting that when John, in the end time, look at these kingdoms before Jesus come,
Yes.
he don't see the statue, but he see the animals.
Yes.
And we know from Daniel chapter 7 that the lion represent King Nebuchadnezzar gold,
Yes.
and the bear represent
Medo-Persia, the
Medo-Persia.
silver.
and the leopard represent Greece.
Yes.
And then this terrible animal represent the Romans.
The Roman Empire.
So now what
what is this terrible animal? It's almost like a
that is the Roman Empire, the empire of iron that crushes all kingdoms. Now what's interesting, in the vision of John, not of Nebuchadnezzar the dream or the vision of Daniel. That is Nebuchadnezzar the statue.
Yes.
The animals was Daniel. But then you have John.
Revelation 13.
Yes,
John.
so, exactly. So when you now go to John, the third one, he sees all these kingdoms together, coming together
Yes.
with 10 crowns on their head. He says, "I saw 10 horns with the 7 heads, with 10 crowns." And when you come to Revelation 17, he explained that what you've seen there, he says, the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. Otherwise, there will be a moment in time when all these kingdoms is under one rule. They will all give their power to one person.
Okay.
For a short time.
And that's in the 7-year tribulation.
With the Antichrist
The
as
feet,
the king.
the 10 toes.
And that 10 toes with the 10 heads then encompass all the kingdoms.
All right.
So when we get to the end of time, all these kingdoms together will play a role for the Antichrist to take his power. So when you go now to your map, you take that area of the Babylonian Empire.
Yeah, you got Babylon.
And you have to take that area
Persia.
in the world. And you have to take that area in the world.
The Greek Empire.
And you have to take that area in the world.
Roman
And then
Empire.
you put all 4 together on one map.
Yes.
And that is the Antichrist domain. You got it.
Okay. And that's called the Combined Pagan World Empire.
Absolutely.
And that's
So,
all in the back of the book here.
all there. So, Wessel, what we actually have is there comes a revived Roman Empire in the time of the end. Because you said to me, so where are we going now?
Yeah.
Where we are going is in our world today. What we see in our world today is the forming of the kingdoms like in the times of old, but divided into 10 kingdoms in the
Pretty much all
physical-
surrounding Jerusalem.
exactly
Jerusalem's
right
in
in
the
the
middle
middle.
of it.
Right in now you can see the picture. So this is called in Revelation chapter 16, it is called the kingdom of the Antichrist.
Wow. Okay.
So now we know where he will rule mainly.
Yeah.
Southern Europe and to your eastern countries, Middle East and North Africa.
Middle East, North Africa,
All of that.
France, UK,
All of those.
Italy,
all of
Spain.
So what we're seeing today is nations fighting for power.
Yeah.
But now the Bible says in Revelation 17, now this is very important what I want to share. It says, "These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast." So God put it in their heart to give their allegiance to one person. Because why don't they work together today? Macron is in France. You have Erdogan in Turkey. You have all these different leaders. the Syrian king is out of power now, Al-Basad.
Mm.
So what's happening?
They're
Some of
all
the,
fighting for their own kingdoms now.
you see,
But in the future, they're going to be like one empire, one ruler,
that's what's going to
the
happen.
Antichrist.
So it says, these will make war when the rock comes with the lamb, and the lamb will overcome them, for he's Lord of lords and King of kings. And he says, and the waters that you saw, these were the harlots, it says, people, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, and God has put it in their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind, and to give their kingdom to the beast until the words of God are fulfilled.
Sure.
That's what's going to happen.
There we go.
That answers it.
That is it.
So God will, in a moment of time, put it in all these people, in all these kingdoms' hearts, to say, let's work together
Yeah.
under this man. I mean, we know who he is going to be the Antichrist.
Yeah. And
So-
then we come to the last part of the whole statue, the story.
Yes,
I want you to explain a little bit what because you're speaking about the rock.
yes,
Just explain to me the rock that is not cut by human hands.
yes.
What does this all mean for us?
So if it comes not cut by human hands, then it is by an act of God.
Hmm.
So by an act of God, Jesus Christ is going to appear in the days of these kings.
Yes.
So Jesus will not come until they are in place. And the Antichrist can't come until he can bring them all together under one rule,
Yeah.
which means the Antichrist must first come, and only once the Antichrist has come can the rock Jesus Christ comes.
Okay.
So the second coming of Christ follows the coming of the Antichrist.
And that's where he crushes them all.
And what will happen is his kingdom become a kingdom of all the world, not only those.
Yeah.
But it says he crushes all the kingdoms, all the heathen nations crushes, because when he comes at Armageddon,
Yes.
he will kill all the armies that have come into the country of Israel, into the nation of Israel, to kill the Jews.
Yes.
Then Christ will appear from heaven. And then he will establish his kingdom over all the world, which means the 1,000-year reign of Christ has come.
Yes.
And Israel has taken their rightful place. There's no Gentile rule over them anymore. So the last 2,600 years is now wiped
Then the
away.
Jew will reign again.
And
his
they will
name is
reign
Jesus.
again with Jesus. And that's now the rock kingdom. And that will be the last kingdom on earth, will be Christ's kingdom.
Yeah.
A physical 1,000-year reign of Christ, as we see in the book of Revelation, chapter 20. 6 times we read of 1,000 years there will be a rule and reign of Christ.
Sure. Well, this is why I said we need Dr. Ray, because to bring Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel and John in Revelation and everyone together into one picture to tell us what's going to happen in the future, what happened. Wow. I feel like I understand it more now.
Sure.
Probably I'm 60% there.
Maybe 65.
But it's also easy because I've got the book in front of me and I've got the statue, I've got the animals, I've got
Yes.
the timeline of the 70 weeks. And
So if we would ask the question, where are we concerning the statue of Daniel and the animals that he saw and what John saw? Where are we right now today? The answer would be, we are looking today, when we look at North Africa, Southern Europe, and the Middle Eastern countries, we are looking at these kingdoms positioning themselves for the future. And that positioning themselves for the future is going to play out in that God is miraculously going to put it in their hearts to give their power to one man, the Antichrist. And the Antichrist will bring peace in the Middle East because he will allow the Jews to build the temple, and the temple will be built. And then, of course, he will go and sit in the middle of the 7 years in the temple, declaring himself to be God. When that happens, Israel know we have been deceived.
Yes.
And what will they do? They will flee and they will call on God. And 1,260 days later, Jesus himself, the rock, will appear from heaven and he will crush the armies and he will bring his kingdom into fruition. So this is actually where we are time-wise.
That's where we're at.
Yes.
I wanted to ask a bunch of questions about the beast, but looking at the book, it's such a good explanation about the governments, the depictions of all the empires.
Yes, yes.
And then also you can go to, it's Daniel 2 and Daniel 7. It speaks about the vision of the 4 beasts and it explains all the beasts.
Yes.
The one world government, the one world strategy.
So that is what's very interesting from Revelation 13.
Yes.
Because Revelation 13 show us there comes under the Antichrist with these animals that I've just read, the lion and the bear, starting with Revelation 13. He talks about a one world government, or there's never going to be a total one world, totalitarian one world government. That will never happen.
Yes.
I mean, that's the desire of Satan and the Antichrist. But before they can do it, Jesus will come. Remember, if the time was there, they could do it, but you can't do it in 3.5 years, take the world over. The time frame is too short. But what I want to say something is, reading Revelation 13, and we should actually have a discussion on explain Revelation chapter 13, because there's a one world government, there's also a one world religion,
Yes.
and then a one world economy. What does that mean and where are we going? And we should actually have a discussion on that. That's very, very important.
Well, in the next episode, because this is all still in chapter 6, so we might just extend chapter 6, because we're getting into one world religions, all of this in the last days, one world.
Absolutely.
There's a lot in this chapter.
Absolutely.
And a lot to be explained. But that was a really good explanation for me from just the statue, the beast, Revelation.
Sure.
So we can continue this conversation.
Absolutely. But it does explain to us world powers, world economies, and where we are today, and the kingdoms of this world, and why Israel is in a position where they are in currently.
Yeah.
And why the Gentile nations is doing what they do currently. It helps us to understand our world.
Okay. Well, if you want to hear more about that, catch us in the next episode as we'll continue this conversation out of chapter 6 and look at all the, what will be established in the end times.
Absolutely.
So, thanks, Dr. Ray.
Pleasure.
Thanks for doing 40 years of study so that we can get this all in 30 minutes. That was a great explanation.
Thank you.
So we see you at the next episode. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Of course, as we always ask you at the end of the day, will you like and subscribe? Go share these messages with people. If you know that was helpful to you, I know it's going to be helpful to someone else. And remember, you can get our book, How to Navigate Through the End Times. Great book that we are working through. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on raymondlombard.com. So jump on there and go get it. See you at the next episode.
God bless.